I'm Don Samulack, President of U.S. Operations at Editage, Cactus Communications, and I'm here in London in the UK at the Digital Science offices within the Macmillan building, talking to Euan Adie, founder and CEO of Altmetric. And so welcome, and this is another of the Vignette series of our discussions. So Altmetric is part of Digital Science, which is, for now anyway, under the envelope of Macmillan Publishing. And under Macmillan Publishing is Nature Publishing Group. So Altmetric is used by Nature, and if I go to a Nature page and to an article, and how do I find for that article the Altmetric donut, as you refer to it, and its metrics?
So quite often publishers will be embedding Altmetric's data on their pages. So certainly a significant number of journals, if you visit them, especially in the STM space, will have somewhere on their site either one of our kind of donut badges, sort of colourful circles, or sometimes there's a little rectangle version, or they have their own metrics tab. But either way, it leads to the same data.
So if you open up a paper and there is a badge of some sort that you would need to click on, I'm just trying to indicate to an author, how do they find this Altmetric data for the paper?
So how you reach the Altmetric data varies from publisher to publisher. Quite often there's a badge underneath the title of the paper, for example, and it'll either say Altmetric or it'll look like this colourful donut that we use elsewhere. And when you click on that, that's when you'll be able to see the metrics report.
So as an author looks at a paper for the Altmetric donut or the rainbow circle, the colours around the donut mean something. And so if you can define in very general terms how a paper is represented by this donut.
What we're trying to do with the donut image, the colourful circle, is to give you a quick impression of the kinds of attention and how much attention a paper has gotten. So if you think about, there's a difference between a paper that's been mentioned a lot in the news but not picked up by other scholars versus something that's been used a lot in policy and practice but no members of the general public have been talking about it. What we're trying to do is give you a very quick indication of when that's happening. And the way we do it is we have different colours for different sources. And at first, nobody remembers what they are, but once you see 5 or 6 of them, then you start to understand. And the more colours there are around the donut means the different places that have talked about it.
And there's also a number in the middle.
Yeah, so sometimes publishers hide the number, and the number is much more tied to how much attention there is, and also it's a certain measure of quality of attention, not the paper. So if you think about just places where your paper can be mentioned, if your paper is mentioned by a national newspaper in your country, then that's going to get you a lot of attention. If your paper is mentioned by a member of the public on social media who doesn't have any followers, then that's not so much attention. So we try and reflect that in the score. So the bigger the sources, the higher the score will be. And
Altmetric is found in many places. Maybe you can give a quick laundry list, and for sake of potentially missing one or two, but give a laundry list of where an author can be looking to find Altmetric.
So you should find Altmetric on most very large journal platforms. So on Science Direct for Elsevier, or Springer, or Wiley journals, to name the 3 big ones. They'll all have Altmetric in different ways. So Springer has a text link, and Wiley has one form of the badge, and Science Direct has another. And then across probably 60 or 70 other smaller publishers. Mm-hmm. And again, usually the badge you'll find underneath the title or in a metrics tab, or sometimes there's a donut in the sidebar.
Now, as I remember it, and it's been a long time since I've actually gone to it, I apologize, not being a researcher myself, but there used to need to be some form of an applet or a bookmarking type thing that needed to be downloaded to have full access to the data. So how does that work?
So if the publisher has a badge, then you can click on it, anyone can click on it and get the full data. And it's basically the publisher paying then for you as a reader or author to get the data. If you're interested in the Altmetrics on a journal that doesn't have the badge, that isn't one of our customers, we can still give you some data for free. And if you go to our site, there's altmetric.it, And there's a bookmark that you can download and just put in your browser, and then when you visit a paper, you can click on the bookmarklet and get some level of Altmetrics for free. To unlock the full details, the publisher needs to be working with this, but you can still get an indication.
So the take-home is for an author who's trying to put together their CV and putting Altmetrics, if they published in a place that may not have full capture, there's still the chance that they may be able, through this alternative means of downloading a bookmark capability, to grab Altmetrics that you have captured of a particular paper in a particular journal, even though the journal doesn't subscribe to your services.
That's right.
And so that's good news too, because there's a huge tail, so to speak, of the number of papers that are out there, and that they may not be in the mainstream journals.
Yeah, that's correct.